week's edition of the newly named Science, Peace and Health News. It's fantastic. It's Friday. It's 4 o'clock. Apologies for last week. I was trapped in Holland, thanks to our dog, but that's hardly world news. So today, what is the news that really everyone needs to know about? Well, we are going to start with some news from Positive News. And this is, who is it? This is news that, negative stereotypes around growing older are rife. But then a young lady, who I believe is, she's only in her 50s or 60s, Sonia Zuravyova, she decided that she wanted to start promoting the fact that you can stay forever young, at least in spirit and in mind, and aging joyfully is what it's all about. So she got together with some friends and they started a website called advantagesofage.com. So that's advantagesofage.com. And it's all about trying to portray the fact that aging is actually not being seen in the way that it used to be, like the last 50 years. Aging has been seen as pretty negative. They're trying to put a very much brighter spin, just like in the olden days when if you got old, you were seen as being wise. But now it's about being wise and joyful. And my favorite bit of news from their site was of 79-year-old Rosemary Smith driving a Formula One car. Something I'd actually quite like to try myself. Next, from Positive News, we have life in the slow lane. You may have heard of slow cooking, where it's instead of fast food, you've got slow food. You've heard of just slowing down the inordinate pace of life. Well, this is now slow farming. There's a farm just outside Dartmoor, so that's Devon for our foreign viewers. And she had a lady called Eleanor Paddock, has a 35-acre farm, and she doesn't use tractors. She uses 20 horses. So this has amazing effects. First of all, of course, there's not really any pollution. There's no oils used. But also, the actual effect of using horses instead of heavy machinery means the soil is compacted less. So it actually, even though some things are slower, it actually improves some things about the soil. And they're finding that it is actually not just sustainable, it's profitable. So it's really environmentally friendly and profitable. Now, staying with environmentally friendly, profitable farming, this is a news from last year, but thanks to the BBC's fantastic programme with Sue Perkins on the Ganges, we learned this just last night. A farmer in India set a world record in harvesting 23 tons of potatoes from a single hectare of land. The previous record is actually held by the Netherlands, which is just 45 tons of potatoes per hectare. Although this is actually an average across the whole of the Netherlands potato farming industry, but they of course are heavily mechanized. They use pesticides. Nitish Kumar, a potato farmer in India, used only organic methods and only manual labor. 73 tons, almost doubling the previous world record. So it's proof that basically organic back to basics farming is really working. It's incredibly sustainable. We do not need to use pesticides, herbicides and pesticides that are not just killing the wildlife, they're killing us as well, and they're seeping into the oceans. So good news all round. Now, staying with the pesticides, a new wave of environmentally friendly pesticides. This is news that I learned by the Nexus news feed, and they got it from qz.com. Some intrepid Australians, only Australians, could think of actually getting the venom of the funnel web spider, and they found out that the venom contains hundreds of different compounds that are all toxic to different species, but because not all things are toxic to the same peptides. And so they found that in the venom, there's not just stuff that's toxic to us, but there are things that are toxic to insects, but are not toxic to us. So they're looking at making insecticides from spider venom. And hopefully it's going to be safe this time. But we may not need it, of course, if we're all organically farming properly. Now let's get on with more amazing science. We're going to talk about nanoparticles. Nanoparticles, tiny things you can't see with the naked eye. And they have hundreds, if not thousands, of uses. And the most incredible things, just most recently, they found a nanoparticle that you can inject into the body, that when it sees a cancer cell, it heats the cancer cell up and kills it, yet it will actually cool down the surrounding healthy cells. Don't know how it works, but it sounds pretty funky to me. And also, that's from Science Daily. It was also reported in the Hindustan Times. There was a second piece of news on nanoparticles, which I've repeated the same one twice. That's not very good, is it? So that's modern news for you and modern technology. So let's just have a quick look at where we are. No. What was the other piece of news? Ah, yes, that's right. They're also now finding nanoparticles to remove more toxins from the water, which is full of, well, many toxins, including cadmium. Cadmium, which is found in cigarette smoke, and all kinds of things. It's in the water supply. It's very hard to remove. Now, nanoparticles to the rescue. Thank you very much, everybody, for bearing with my own ineptitude. Now, from the tiny, now let's expand. I forgot to mention that today's news is sponsored by Badly Drawn Horses, Potatoes, and the Blue Ocean, or The Blue Mind, which is a book by marine biologist Wallace Nichols. The book Blue Mind is surprising science that shows how being near, in, on, or underwater can make you happier, healthier, more connected, and better at what you do. Now, he's a marine biologist, so I guess he's a little bit biased. But his book is apparently full of scientific research proving this. One of these pieces of scientific evidence comes out of Exeter University, our very own Exeter University, where they found that people they did this 48 million people, so the whole of England anyway, and they found that the closer that people lived to the coast, the happier and healthier and more well they were. This apparently has also been found by various other investigations around the world. Health and wellness increases as you get closer to the coast and large bodies of water. And Mr. Nichols describes a blue mind as a mildly meditative state which is characterized by calm, peacefulness, unity, as well as a sense of general happiness and satisfaction with life in the moment. Pretty cool, huh? He also describes how when we're actually in water and around water, we tend to change our sense of me to more of a sense of we and connectedness. We're going to get a little bit deeper now, because we're going to finally get to a piece of news that I've been wanting to share all day and I keep forgetting, which is an interview that I saw recently on Mind Valley with a guy called Neil Donald Walsch. Some of you may already have heard of Neil Donald Walsch. You may have even read one of his books. He came to fame in the 90s by writing a book called Conversations with God, a book I still have yet to read. But recently, last year, he wrote the fourth in the Conversations with God series, and I think I'm going to have to read this one, because he talks about 16 different characteristics, beliefs, behaviors that highly evolved beings have. And I'd like to leave you with some words of wisdom from Neil Donald Walsch. First of all, your life is not about you. It's about everyone else whose life you touched and the way in which you touch it. Just think about that for a while. And now let's move on to what Neil Donald Walsch calls the agenda of the soul. Each one of us may have a unique purpose. Each one of us may have a unique path that we're going down to, a unique what's called ikigai, something that gets us up in the morning. But Neil Donald Walsch believes that we all have the same agenda of the soul. And this is pretty funky, which is to use each golden moment of now to make an extraordinary decision, to announce and declare, express and fulfill, become and experience the next grandest version of the greatest vision you ever held about who you are. I'll repeat that again. The agenda of the soul is to use each golden moment of now to make an extraordinary decision, to announce and declare, express and fulfill, become and experience the next grandest version of the greatest vision you ever held about who you are. In short, the agenda of the soul is about recreating yourself anew in every moment. Now, if this is something that excites you, then I advise you to get on over to my365.com, mi365.com, and learn how to upgrade your life from the inside out, from the outside in, so that you can actually express this agenda of the soul. So thank you very much for watching. If you think there are people out there who deserve more peace, more love, more health, they like the idea that science is actually going to help save us and help better mankind, then please spread this news, bring more people to the broadcasts on Mondays, and this will be uploaded onto YouTube as well. So please spread the word. There's many good things happening in the world that we live in.